Kevin Engel has farming operations in 17 Virginia counties. That's a lot to keep track of. And his new Virginia Resource Management Plan helps him pull all of his conservation programs together.
In the areas that we farm, there are a lot of rivers. We have the Pamunkey, the James, the Nottoway, and the Hardware River, various other rivers. And it's important that we protect our rivers and keep the nutrients in our fields available for our crops and not end up in our rivers and ultimately end up in the bay.
Engel uses a number of conservation tools to reduce runoff and keep both his soil and nutrients out of the waterways surrounding his farm. Targeted applications of nutrients, cover crops to prevent erosion, and buffer strips around fields are just some of them. Most of these techniques are required or highly recommended by federal, state, or local conservation agencies. And he's been one of the first growers to implement them. But until the Resource Management Plan program began last year, there was no official way to pull them all together.
A resource management plan is a highly individualized conservation plan for farms that includes several components, including a nutrient management plan to reduce nutrients, a soil conservation plan to minimize soil loss, livestock stream exclusion on pasture, and for hayland and cropland, a 35-foot minimum buffer along perennial streams.
For instance, in this resource management plan, it talks about the different areas that we're farming in and some of the BMPs, best management practices, that we're going to use. And certainly nitrogen and phosphorus management are a big part of that.
Growers sign up to develop a resource management plan voluntarily instead of being ordered to do so by regulations. Glover says RMPs also offer a producer certainty. If a farmer works with a conservation planning expert to develop a plan, he or she will be certified to be in compliance with all future state conservation programs for the next 9 years.
We found that one of the most popular things with farmers with respect to resource management plans is that it is the best way for farmers to get credit for all of the conservation practices on their farms, particularly those that have not received either federal or state assistance.
If you create a problem, someone's going to come help you fix it, and you might not agree with their terms. So it's much better to be proactive and work with the powers that be to manage things in the proper way than to have to be reactive to oversight coming in and fixing your problems.
In its first year, the program's already very popular. Glover says the Department of Conservation and Recreation had a goal of writing 40 RMP plans this year. Instead, 274 plans will be finalized by the end of 2015.
The Resource Management Plan program was actually conceived by the agricultural industry, including organizations such as Virginia Farm Bureau. Virginia is one of the first states in the Bay watershed to implement a certainty program like this, and in fact, the state of Maryland has consulted with us for advice on how they might develop their own similar program.
The Virginia Resource Management Plan program was developed by all parties as a voluntary, state-driven response to the EPA's Chesapeake Bay program. Engel says it shows farmers are taking concrete steps to protect the bay, and that voluntary conservation programs are having an impact.
When you drive by and you see your topsoil staying in the field and the water coming off of the fields and the ditches clean, that means a lot. When I go over and see a dirty river, I don't like that. I want to see water in it, but I want to see the water clean.
Farmers and the general public can learn more about the Resource Management Program on the DCR website at dcr.virginia.gov. So far, the program only covers farms in the Chesapeake Bay watershed, but Glover says it's proven to be so popular, they're planning to expand it statewide in 2016. In Hanover County, Virginia, I'm Norm Hyde reporting.